up, squad? Mizzy World Entertainment. I am your host, Mizzy, with your co-host, my cousin, Vern Knowledge.
What's the deal?
What's up, cousin? And we are here to present the fourth episode of MadMizzy Sports NFL Edition 2021 season, where we breaking down, reviewing the 2021 NFL season. Obviously, if y'all have been following us. But to bring in this episode, what did we want to start off with? What was the first thing we wanted to start off with was the big news in the NFL. Richard Sherman. What's your opinion? Richard Sherman to the Bucks. What the fuck? Oh my gosh. Is it catastrophic? Are they unbeatable again? What's going on? What are you thinking?
See, I'm not going to say it's catastrophic. I think because their defensive backfield was depleted to begin with. They weren't playing well to begin with. Let's say that. And then they're depleted because of the injuries. So Richard Sherman is going to help, but I don't think he's going to make a significant difference in that secondary. You see what I'm saying?
I mean, he's not a young piece coming in. I don't think you can
he's not
expect.
His prime Richard Sherman.
I don't. You,
even the prime Richard Sherman wouldn't be
significant
to me personally because of the deficiency they already had.
Exactly.
In the backfield.
Exactly. And this is something that we spoke on. What was that? Maybe episode 2, episode 1. But it was about, that was the one thing that I feared about the Bucks, and it was their thin line on the defense, and if that injury bug hit. But like Vern said, I want to say, I don't think Richard Sherman is stopping D-Jack from running through that defense last week.
Or a Cooper Kupp.
So, I mean, listen, they did what they had to do. Right. We don't expect to see their defensive backfield to get torched like that, and not to go out and get a veteran that can go out and at least get them on the same page.
I think too.
That's the one thing he can do. Exactly, he can lead them and put them on the same page. So that's the number one thing. So what we diving into?
So the next part we gonna dive into is we simply gonna talk about the 1 and 2 team.
But to start off specifically,
first the Kansas City Chiefs.
Of course,
and we gonna
the biggest surprise.
So I have a question for you, Mac.
I'm all ears.
What is your biggest take from the 1 and 2 start of the Chiefs? What is your biggest take from that?
Another slow start. Their luck just isn't bouncing their way. Defense, of course, is still shaky. But, I mean, it's hard to say because they don't usually look this way with this team. Like we said, to start off our podcast.
Do you think they're in trouble?
No. When we started off our podcast, we were talking about Pat Mahomes, his unbeaten streak, he hasn't thrown an interception in September, and this, that, and the third. Eventually, the NFL catches up to you. I don't give a damn if it's you being this, that, and the third. They're going to catch up with you, and I feel as though he had a tough slate of games to start off. You started off your first 3 games with the Browns in Cleveland.
Right.
Then you had to travel to Baltimore. And then you had Kansas. Then you had to host the Los Angeles Chargers, who were headhunting because they felt like they gave up quite possibly a game to the Cowboys. Right. So it's a lot that was going on. Yes, I have concerns about their defense, but I feel as though eventually they will get it together. What is your answer to that?
Now, I'm on a little bit on the opposite side of that end because me personally, I feel like these games that they won in the past, they've won these games. They won these games where their defense played bad, but they was able to pull these games out. To your point of the defense and the league catching up, I think that's what's happening at this point. And the league is catching up. Teams are getting better. They're always going to be the hunted because they're obviously the AFC champs every year for the last couple of years, so they're going to be hunted. And to me personally, I don't think like I said in the past they've won those close games to where they always win shootouts. But to me personally, that defense is not looking good to me, bro. I just don't trust that defense this year. And secondly, I'm on the opposite end of that because Pat Mahomes is making mistakes that he doesn't normally make.
Agreed. I feel like he's pressing a lot right now. I feel as though he's chasing a lot of big statements that he's pushing out. That's what a lot of people fail to realize is when you put out there, as soon as they say, "Oh yeah, it's a confirmed 17-game season," oh, we chasing 17-0. Oh no, he didn't say that. He said 20 and 0, which would of course presuming he's talking about going, of course, undefeated, winning the divisional round, winning the championship round, and of course winning the Super Bowl.
Right.
So that's putting a lot of pressure on yourself. But I feel like they're just gonna get it right, man. Like we said, Andy Reid is a great coach. It's a lot on their shoulders right now, and they gotta have a lot to figure out. If it was anybody else besides Pat Mahomes and those dudes, I would be skeptical. But they're gonna get it. They're gonna get it on the right track. The only thing is that West is looking like the NFC West, and they're the only 1-3 team.
Right.
I mean 1-2 team.
Right.
1-2 team. So that's the only thing. But getting into to move forward more into the 1-2 teams, what 1-2 team do you say is the most dangerous? Is still the most dangerous? Which one is still got the most strike in them? Yeah, man. Let's get it.
Man, I mean, other than the obvious answer of the Chiefs, you got to go with Seattle. And you can never count on Russell Wilson. I think Pete Carroll, DK Metcalf, they still got a plethora of receivers over there. So I feel like the Seattle Seahawks is obviously the 1-2 team that's scary. I mean, they lost a close game to the Titans in overtime, a game that they led that they probably should have won. So, they a play or two away from being 2-1. You feel what I'm saying? Maybe even undefeated. So
I'm gonna say, for me, I mean, I see them going 1-3 this week, obviously. So it's gonna be tough for the Seahawks for me coming out of the West. I'm gonna just go off a division. Honestly, I'm gonna say either probably for me, the Vikings or the Pats.
Watch out for that Minnesota team, too.
Minnesota has had a couple tough losses. They look very explosive. They look like they want to feed Justin Jefferson the ball, as they should. Then, of course, I mean, I feel like in the AFC West, the Bills aren't looking like how everybody expected the Bills to look. So, yeah, I don't know. Anything could happen. But then again, they could be going 1-3 this weekend as well. It's a tough one out there, but I would definitely say the Vikings. As far as, like Vern said, the obvious answer of the Kansas City Chiefs. So, what's the next topic?
This will be getting to our power rankings.
Oh, we getting into the power rankings early. Let's get it. Who going first this week?
You go first this week. You go first. Top 10. We need some top 10 music.
We should get some top 10 music. We're going to have something for y'all. All right, y'all know I like to start at 10. At 10, I got the Broncos 3-0, man. But I got them at 10 simply because of the schedule, the strength of schedule. If this is college football, they have a very weak strength of schedule right now. And you think about the 3 games that they've played, the 3 teams, how they've looked thus far this season, they should be 3-0. We just watched the Jags. We looking like, oh, man, they going to get their first win. That's a reason. They struggling to get that first win. And we just going to say that. Moving into number 9, I got the Packers. I got the Packers still at 2-1. I don't think they're a top-tier team just simply because I don't know how much they're truly invested. I know they don't want to look like an embarrassment this season, but I don't know how much they're truly invested in winning a Lombardi trophy this season. I'm just saying that. I'm going to keep it a buck. I know that Aaron Rodgers don't want to get embarrassed. He don't want to have to go in the next season here and this hoopla and this, that, and the third. I don't really know how much they invested. But come on, y'all let Devontae give up. I'll get into that later. At 8, the Niners. Later is now. Come on, Devontae, man. How y'all let the best wide receiver in the game finish off the game with 2 catches, man?
Yeah, that's bad.
How?
Real bad.
No timeouts. Y'all, like I told one of my coworkers, I said, hey, listen, man, I don't care if somebody is hitting that seam wide open for a touchdown, as long as his name is not Devontae.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You feel what I'm saying? So that's ridiculous, but I still like the way we fought. Hey, listen, man, the way Cal, I believe in Cal, but You gotta get Trey there, man. You gotta get Trey there, man, because Jimmy is not it. B.
I don't know, bro, because Jimmy had a nice drive and
he should have won that game.
He would have won that game if it was anybody else on the other side of that.
I still feel like he's not bringing that explosiveness to our offense.
Now, can I ask you a question real fast? That drive that Jimmy had to put y'all up, left 37 seconds left. Do you think Trey Lance would have put y'all in position to make that to
right now? I'm gonna say no, because if Kyle Shanahan believed he would have been able to do that, he would be on the field. I believe that. I don't think he's just not having him out there because he just don't want him out there,
right,
or because Jimmy G just got this heavy contract. I don't think it's either one of those things. I just believe he really feel like he's not there yet. So.
No, I'm saying, do you personally feel that Jimmy G would?
Trey? No, I don't. You know what I'm saying? Because watching him, he held the ball a lot. He wasn't decisive in his decisions in the preseason, passing wise.
Okay.
So that's the next step for him, is realizing what the defense is, where to go with the ball, be decisive with it. You know what I'm saying? Then you can manipulate and do all that extra stuff, which he was getting better with in the preseason. But hey, listen, my faith is in Kyle. That's my answer. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm not gonna sit up here and act like I know more than the dude that's in the building coaching these men.
Right.
Watching them every day. You feel what I'm saying?
But you still feel like Trey Lance is.
Eventually, he has to be the starter of the season, in my opinion. He just, to me, I say, Kyle, you got to get him there, because that keeps being his answer, is he hasn't done enough to take over that starting quarterback job. So, Kyle, you got to get him to the point where he's done enough. You feel what I'm saying? In my opinion. But at 7, I got the Bucks. I got the Bucks so far back simply because I feel like they defense, man. I told y'all, I feel like they still a top 10 team. It's Brady, it's Bruce. They offense still stacked, but their defense. As much as this is an offensive game now, it seems like the defense is more important.
Right.
That the more you can't even make that one stop, it's more significant.
Exactly.
You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
The more you can't get them off the field on that third down, it's more significant now. You feel what I'm saying? So, they got thin, and I expect them to, of course, be there. But yeah, I got the Bucks at 7. At 6, I got the Panthers. Man, they 3-0. I feel like their strength of schedule hasn't been up to par either, but I feel like they've been a lot more dominant, a lot more showing, just a lot more impressive. You get what I'm saying? And not only that, like I said, we thought the Saints were what they were. They bounced back and got a W, so they clearly aren't that bad as what they showed against the Panthers. So I got to give the Panthers some type of credit. At 5, I got the Raiders.
Okay.
The Raiders are in my top 5, man.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Oakland, Las Vegas.
I said Oakland like 3 times on the last episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said.
And I corrected myself early, so appreciate Vern for pointing that out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Vegas, man, they showing out, man. They in shape. I like the way they looking out there. At 4, I got the Browns, man.
Mm-hmm.
One play away from being undefeated and possibly being that number 2 team for me.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So I like the way the Browns are looking. They're growing in their offense. They're growing in their team. They're growing in their continuity. They got Odell back. Oh my goodness, it's about to get it. It's about to get explosive out there.
Is playing hella good football.
He's playing marvelous. He's playing in his lane, and he's taking what's given to him.
Exactly.
Don't try to be what you're not when you don't have to be. Especially at 3, I got the Dallas.
Whoa.
Cowboys.
Whoa.
I am very, very, very impressed with the Dallas Cowboys. I told this to Vern multiple times, and it keeps showing out. And I don't like when people compare the Cowboys defense to the Chiefs defense, simply because I feel like they're doing a lot more. And I feel like they're more reliable and they're more consistent. They're more consistent. And obviously, what Vern just acknowledged, the turnovers. They're getting, 2 turnovers a game? Average?
Or 2.5? 2.5.
Because I think y'all got 3.
We got 8 in 3 games.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, that's more than 2 a game. Well, you can't get a half a turnover, but.
Yeah, so they won off from 3 a game.
Almost 3 a game.
ridiculous. So then the balance on offense, the way that Dak Prescott's playing, he's probably the MVP right now.
That ball right now.
It looks it's beautiful, balanced football, and they look like they're on a mission to prove that they're a team to be reckoned with. The only thing is, one thing we've already discussed is just the clock management by by the head coach Mike McCarthy. And it's like, I don't remember this when he was coaching the Packers. I don't know if it was like, how long was he away from the game? 2 years?
A year.
Come on, Mike. This man was content with letting 2 minutes melt off the clock
At the end of the half.
Who does that?
3rd and 24 with a minute.
While you're dominating the game.
Offense moving up and down the field like it ain't nothing.
Against your rivals.
Against the Birds.
Let's move on. For me, at 2, a lot of people won't disagree. I got the Arizona Cardinals.
That's a big. I got them pretty high on my list. So
I got the Arizona Cardinals at number 2. Kyler Murray, that team, that defense, of course. Everything. Man. What I'm saying right now with these teams is the defenses and how they're coming out and they're performing. They are showing just what the game is about, and that defenses that if you play it right still have a fighting chance. They still out there putting their fingerprint on the game, and that's clear as day. The only thing is this is the day and era you can't rely solely on the defense.
Right.
That's it. You're not winning with no 85 Bears defense now.
And not having
with just a running game and Jim McMahon passing the ball 10 times a game. That's just it.
That's not happening.
People get a little upset. No. You got to have offensive firepower, and you got to have the ability to stop people. Stop offenses. So it's a give and take. But number 1, clearly, the Los Angeles Rams. Yeah. It's scary out there in that West, boy. But I ain't scared of them folk. I ain't scared of Matt Stafford. But I'm going to get the props where the props is due. Shout out to Sean McVay. Shout out to Matt Stafford. They look like a match made in heaven. Shout out to D-Jack. What a performance. Shout out to them, man. Get them the crown for me. Rams, number 1 team in the NFL right now for Mizzy.
Let's go. We have a very, very similar list. Probably, I think it's 2 teams that I have. One that I have on my list that you don't have, and vice versa, obviously. So let's go in number 10. I got us at number 10. The Cowboys at number 10.
Whoa!
I got us that low because I'm setting our standard how I want. I was going to put us on the list last week, but I kept us just off just because I didn't want to jinx us. I wanted to see more from that defense. I wanted to make sure it wasn't a fucking.
They're consistent to me. They held the what did they hold the Chargers to?
17. 20. We beat them 20-17.
That's come on, man.
Let me speak before I move on. Let me speak on Trayvon Diggs.
Yes, marvelous. Number 7.
Last year,
he was getting torched
a lot, right? And I was on him, but even when he got beat, he still was, and he still had good position. It still was good technique, but he was right there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's give Dan Quinn some props.
Give Dan Quinn a lot of props
on putting him in a position to be successful because he is taking a step in his game. He's looking like a Pro Bowl defensive back, bro.
And my thing is, a lot of stuff isn't making things ultra being this this super football genius. So I'm coming in, I'm about to put you here, I'm about to put you I'm about to let you know what you're going to do every play. And a lot of things defensively, and no matter what level of football that you play, no matter what game you play of football, rough touch, semi-pro,
exactly,
high school, college, a lot of things defensively are breakdowns and miscommunications. Yes, you get beat sometimes, but in that level of the NFL, a lot of times people are running up and down the field unguarded because of miscommunication.
And then defense is, the less you got to think on defense,
of course,
the better and the faster.
Because you got to react. If you got to think before you react, you're not reacting as fast.
The less you are thinking, the better you are reacting. The faster you are reacting.
The faster you're reacting, the faster you're moving in the NFL. The faster you're moving in the NFL, the faster you're making plays.
And our defense look fast. Like, our safeties look fast. Curse is balling.
And it's like, of course, yes, you want to be a genius, but you got to settle in and lay down a foundation in the beginning. Let these kids know what they're doing in the beginning, and then from there you can play and tweak. They look marvelous, and you can tell it's vanilla because people are still getting plays on them, but you can tell that they're a good defense because
it's a maturation process
because of the turnovers that they're making and the way that they fly to the ball. So it's like as soon as he can make a few little tweaks here and there, it's going to be stupid. Especially once you get some players back, and you can put Micah in the defensive end and at the linebacker. Ooh.
I'm about to say, don't forget that Marcus Lawrence is not even playing. Let me get.
Oh my goodness!
This is a whole segment
on
the Cowboys.
My goodness.
Let's get to the rest of the because, like I said, I don't want to jinx us.
Okay.
At number 10, I got the Cowboys. We aight.
We aight.
At number 9, I got y'all dropped down to number 9.
Understandable
Off a big loss. I mean, like I said, we spoke about this earlier. The only person that could have got that victory is maybe Tom Brady with that Bucs team, with that Bucs offense. And I don't know who else. Maybe Pat Mahomes. Maybe
you give him that time.
Maybe your boy Peyton in his day. But
yeah, man.
They probably drive away from being a 3-0 team. At number 8, I'm gonna go with the Bills. I just think they just had 2 dominant wins back to back. 2 dominant wins, 35-0.
Okay.
And then they just I forgot who they played last week, but it was a dominant win.
I think I wasn't too impressed with either opponents.
Yeah,
I think that was my thing with the Bills.
I think they beat the Miami Dolphins. They beat 35-0. They just beat Washington last week.
And then that was with Tua getting hurt early in that game against the Dolphins.
Then I think they just beat Washington.
Yeah, so I wasn't too impressed with the opponents, but I mean they did what they were supposed to do. They did what they were supposed to do. So I mean they're NFL teams.
Exactly.
Get them props.
Understandable. At number 7, I got Baltimore. I mean, it was a close win against the Lions this past week, but again,
I had to take them out because of that.
I think the Lions are
better than what we are giving them credit for.
The Lions are a tough beat, bro. I'm telling you.
Yes.
They play tough every single week. Like I said, I mean, they
got skill. They got skill. Shout out to Swift. Shout out DeAndre. You know what I'm saying? Philly. Shout out Philly. But they got skill all over the place. You get DeAndre in the open field, he's a beast. You get you got Jamal Williams. He's a hammer. Right. You feel what I'm saying?
That change your pace back.
They did the skill positions on the outside are very underrated with them losing Galladay. A lot of those receivers are stepping up and showing that they can ball. So
Marvin Jones, I think I forgot his name.
I'm not sure who they got, but
Jr., I think.
But yeah, you're right. But everybody know I like the Ravens, but I had to kick them off because of that.
Yeah.
I mean, you had an all-time. You needed a record breaker to get a dub against the Lions.
Yeah, man. I mean, you got to. I mean, for me personally, I keep the Ravens up there because of they win against the Chiefs. So you got a big win against the Chiefs. Then
right.
That's personally. That's why I think they play the way they just played after that.
Oh, right. The emotion
of coming off of that Chiefs win.
He hitting next level with us, y'all. I like that.
That's why I kept them in.
That's a good thought. That's a good thought.
So at number 6, I'm gonna go with Cleveland. We already talked about Cleveland. We already talked about Baker. He's just playing the next level. His passer rating is over 100 right now. He's just making the right decisions, bro. Like that's just
not forcing it.
Like with Dak Prescott, that's how I feel. Like him and Dak Prescott right now is playing to me like obviously not the best quarterback because it's everybody. Let's look at good quarterbacks, Matt Stafford, but. To me, like
Matt might be the MVP so far. I got a head with Dak, but
balling. Even Kyler Murray is balling too.
Right. I mean, we got a couple dudes.
There's a couple dudes. But to me, like they're like Baker. He's just making the right play. He's not forcing the ball. He's not forcing turnover. He's not forcing it to nobody.
What a lot of teams are realizing is that just because you draft a dude number 1 overall, you don't have to say. Figure everything out. It's everything is on you.
That's just football in general.
Common sense in general, no matter who it is.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? Even with LeBron, I'm pretty sure he leaned on a lot of people on him climbing that ladder to get to being, okay, now I can carry all the weight. Even then.
Even Jordan needed.
Of course, Jordan. Brady, Ali, whoever you want to name, Floyd, you know what I'm saying? Whoever you want to name. So, everywhere you turn, you dig what I'm saying? So, I think it's finally hitting franchises that just because you're investing that much, you don't have to just say, all right, go ahead, young boy, figure it all out, even though we know it's hard as hell out here. No, get this young boy offensive line, get him a running game, get him an easy system so he can build into it. Somebody that can make some plays on the outside.
Good coach, some consistency.
And a good play caller.
Exactly.
You feel what I'm saying? Somebody that can call plays to their skill set and not call plays to what they want to just run.
What they want to do. Because that's what
if Lamar Jackson didn't have what's that Bill Roman? What's his name?
I think it is Roman. I know his last name. I think his last name is wrong.
I don't know if it's Bill Roman, but y'all know who I'm talking about. The offensive coordinator out there in Baltimore. Who knows where L. Jack could be? You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
And he's the youngest MVP and the youngest Heisman in the history of football.
Right.
Because people believed. So yeah, people finally realizing that. But go ahead, I be rambling off.
Hey, listen, that's what we do. It's a podcast. That's what we do.
Exactly.
We can do that.
Yeah, that's what you're doing.
Cleveland number 6. At number 5, I'm gonna go with Carolina. I like what Carolina's doing on defense now.
What I put Carolina at 6 for me?
Something like that. You had them up
right
there,
before the 5.
Top 5. Like for me, Carolina is gonna be tough. I don't think Carolina's gonna last in the top 10 too long, just because of the loss of Christian McCaffrey. I think that's gonna be significant.
A hammy ain't gonna keep him out too long.
Hopefully, that's hope. Cause you know he's injury prone. So that's
of recent.
Let's hope it's just that. But I just think if let's just say if Christian McCaffrey,
I would be cautious with him too.
Significant amount of time.
Well, for one, I want to touch into that next week. I want to look into their schedule a little bit, see how their schedule looks heading out. Because I think what they said, 4 to 6 week injury, something like that.
Right.
We'll see. They look stacked in that backfield. I like the receivers that they got. It's on Sam Bradford. I like their offensive line. I think they can withstand.
Sam Darnold.
I think
Sam Bradford.
Bradford ain't. I like Sam Darnold. I like the Carolina Panthers, and I think they can withhold without him for a stretch, not for long, but for a stretch.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we definitely gonna see.
I think their defense definitely could hold up to the team. I mean, they got the Cowboys this week. We're favorite. If they were favorite, I think because they're undefeated, they should be favorite. But I think because we're at home, we're favorite. So they would have been my upset pick, but we're favorite. So
you're the picture.
That would have been a biased pick. I would think they're going to lose this week to us because I just think that their offense is not going to be able to keep up with our offense. I think we're going to score more than they're going to. We're going to be able to stop them more than they're going to be able to stop us on offense. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I can see that. I can see Sam Darnold pressing more than
exactly
Dak.
Turnovers, trying to force it because Sam Darnold been playing with a lead most of the season. Let's see how he plays. I think the Cowboys want to get a lead on Sam Darnold, so let's see how he plays from behind. So. We'll see if he gets behind. I'm not saying it's guaranteed. But
yeah, of course. I mean, if you were saying it was guaranteed, we'll be in.
We'd be motherfucking.
We won't be where we at right now. Yeah, man. So, but yeah.
Carolina at 5, 4 Arizona. Like you said, you had them in your top. I think 3. They
were 2 for me.
Kyler Murray's playing on the MVP level. That defense, Chandler, JJ. I mean, I don't think anybody wants to play them.
Buddha.
I think they just have a good mixture of young and
old and veterans.
I don't think you don't want to call them old, but
niggas old.
Young and veteran.
Nigga, I feel old, and them niggas older than me.
Exactly. But I think they got a good mixture of young and veteran. I think Kyler is coming into his own right now. I think he's really coming into his own. He's figuring things out. So I got Arizona number 4. Number 3, I got Tampa Bay. Number 3, I mean, they lost to the Rams, which is I don't want to give up my number 1 team, but we both got them in number 1, whatever. I think they lost to the best team.
I think if you don't have the Rams at number 1,
you're stupid. You just don't know football. But yeah, I think they just took a loss to the best team in the league right now. I think so.
But all right, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
although you are a Brady fan and everything and all that, you're not concerned with the lack of depth on that side, the lack of
on the defense.
Yeah, on the defensive
I'm
side.
definitely concerned.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, so for me, that's the only reason to me they dropped so much is because for me they weren't, like you said, when they were healthy they didn't look good.
Right.
Then you lose your starting lineup that you paid all this money to bring back, and
right.
Like for me, that's significant to me.
It's
significant. So that's why I want to explain to y'all the I would say that's probably where the differential is between me having them at like what did I have them at, like 8?
8, yeah, something like that.
8, something like that, and Vern had them at still has them.
I'm just going to still have them at the top 5 just because of Brady. I just think the confidence in Brady. I think he gets AB back this week, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, you can never count them out with that offense. Mm-hmm. I think they're going to beat the Patriots this week. So I still feel like that offense. I think that offense could still carry them if they need to. I mean, they still got playmakers on the defensive side. They still, I don't know when JPP is coming back, but they still got playmakers on that front seven. So I got them at number 3. Number 2, I got Las Vegas, the Raiders. Derek Carr is playing at an MVP level as well. We didn't mention Derek Carr, but he's playing at an MVP level as well.
We didn't.
So Derek Carr, I think that defense is playing well. They got playmakers all over the place. I'm gonna go with Las Vegas at 2, and like you said, number 1. If you don't got the Los Angeles Rams number 1, you don't.
Vegas at 2.
Vegas at 2, bro. They had 2.
Vegas at 2. I'm not arguing at all. To me, it's just such a surprise because I know how much of a critic you are on John Gruden since he's come back.
But they've shown me something.
What is that?
A big win against a good defense with T.J. Watt still healthy there, right?
But the Steelers look like they might not be that team that what we think they are.
Right, but again, the Steelers came off a big win against Buffalo.
They were feeling confident that week.
They were looking confident.
They were feeling confident that week.
Came off
that's
a big
true.
win against Buffalo.
That's true. They were feeling good that week.
The L.A. Rams came in there and gave them all they
Las Vegas Raiders.
What did I say? The Los Angeles.
You said Los Angeles Rams.
The Vegas Raiders.
The Vegas Raiders. We know.
So I don't know. I just got they got.
Hey, listen. I'm not arguing it. It's just like I said.
They had all big wins. Like we wins to me.
We do this. This is something that we've done since we can remember. We talk football. So right. I just know how much Vern is a critic of John Gruden and Raiders since he's come back. So it's just a shock to me. And you know what I mean, I'm not saying it's wrong or nothing like that. It's just a shock. You feel what I'm saying? But let's get into our upset alert.
Yeah, I'm ready for that.
Who you got? Who going first?
Hey, I go since you went first on the jump. So let me see. Let me go back to the games of sleep real fast.
Look at the games of sleep.
Matter of fact, I already know.
Go ahead, man.
I already know.
Go ahead, man.
The Bears are favored by only 3 points. But I had them on upset alert against the Lions this week. Like I said earlier, the Lions played tough all year. They played every team tough. I mean, they had a little debacle at the end of the Green Bay game, but I think they played tough they gave San Fran everything they can handle at the end of that game. Played good in the first half against Green Bay.
Okay, so you say the Lions get their first dub?
So I think the Lions get their first dub this week against the
I like that pick. I don't see how they fuck their favorite is. Nobody knows who the starting quarterback is about to be for the Bears. But I guess we get a Vern that one. I'm going to dive into my own division that I know very, very well. And y'all know who I'm going to go with, man. I'm going to go with Kyler Murray and them boys stepping into SoFi.
Into L.A.?
Into SoFi.
That was my second one.
That's not the third straight week I had your second pick, cuz.
It is.
It's like he read my mind to be like, hit this goofy going with that one. I'm gonna go with this one.
I already know you gonna go with that one.
Shut your ass up. You don't know shit.
Cause I know you ain't gonna pick. I knew you wasn't gonna pick the Lions.
Yeah, I put the Jets last week and my ass is down.
You're right. I was gonna pick the Jets though. That was my second one. Remember? Yeah, I was gonna pick the Jets if I didn't pick.
Hey, listen. So neither of his picks been in one of my thoughts, but that's crazy. But the Cardinals, I feel like they have a very good chance. I feel like Kyler Murray's on a mission, and I feel like the Rams might be riding a little too high. I feel like they might be smelling a roses a little bit too much. You know what I mean?
What they
So-
play? What they play at?
I think they playing in SoFi
That's a 4:00 game in LA.
in LA and SoFi. I think they gonna come in and grab that dub. Give me Kyler Murray,
What's the money?
AJ Green.
4 points. They giving the Rams 4 points. I got the Rams covering.
He's silly, kids. But listen, y'all. I got the Cardinals. My upset alert. Y'all know what it is. Listen, like,
MadMizzy
comment,
Sports.
share. MadMizzy Sports, Burn Knowledge, Mizzy World Entertainment, Mizzy World ENT on Instagram, Burn Knowledge on Instagram, Burn Spearman on Facebook, Ramon Villanueva on Facebook, Mizzy World Entertainment on Facebook, all that on Facebook.
Get it.
Follow us, man. Y'all know what it is, man. Gang.